Hello, beautiful friends. How's everybody doing today? Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I truly appreciate it. So today is actually a requested video by one of our good friends here, Annie. She had contacted me over on Instagram and asked me to do a video on if I've had to change up my skincare routine or my makeup choices now that I'm living here in drier climates in Arizona. And the answer is actually yes. I have had to make a few adjustments in my skincare and makeup. So if you have been interested and was wondering that as well, please continue watching because we're about to get into all that right now. Okay, I wanted you guys to see what my skin looks like with no skincare on it. As you can see, it doesn't look too bad, but I think the lighting is really bouncing off to give like that glow. But it is quite dull in person, but I do think that the skincare I've been using is helping. So the first step that I always do is first of all, I never dry my face. I just let it air dry, and then I like to apply some kind of spray or water before I apply my skincare. So today I'm using Matrixyl 3000. That is actually in a spray form, and it also has hyaluronic acid in it, so it's great for hydration. Then I go in with the CoStar X. Now this is new to me. So this replaced the Turtur I was using that I absolutely loved, but this one a lot of people are talking about, so I really wanted to give it a try. It has 6 peptides in it. It's very lightweight. It's not sticky. It's supposed to enhance your original skincare routine, and it does target a lot of things like dullness, oily skin, dehydration, pores, anti-aging, redness, and sensitive skin. Then I go in with my Timeless Vitamin C. I've been using this on my channel for years. I will never be without it. I absolutely love this product. I love how it smells. I love how my skin has changed through the years. Now this also has vitamin E and ferulic acid in it, and this will target dullness, hyperpigmentation, and discoloration. Yeah, it just has changed my skin so much with continued use, and it does take time, so you have to be patient. Now this is new to my collection. One of our great friends had recommended me try that, so I definitely wanted to place this in my rotation. Is the VT Cosmetics PDRN. Now this is sourced from Korean wild ginseng, so it's a plant alternative to the fish-derived PDRN. So it's supposed to absorb quicker than salmon PDRN. So this will nourish and plump the skin and give a natural radiance. And then I've been using this In Beauty Bright and Tight under eye cream for quite some time now. And let me just tell you, this bottle has lasted months. I haven't even had to replace it. But this is a brightening eye cream, and it also contains vitamin C and peptides. This will target puffiness, wrinkles, and saggy eyelids. And I think over time, I have seen a real big difference. And I think that's why my concealers are working now. And then I go in with In Beauty's Extreme Face Cream. Now, this is my second or third bottle of this because I really do like this product. I love how quickly it absorbs into my skin. It's supposed to visibly smooth deep wrinkles, and it plumps. And also, it delivers a beautiful glossy glow to the skin and wears beautifully under makeup. I also want to mention that it's fragrance-free and great for sensitive skin. So I have used this in the morning, and I also have used this in the evening as well. So this is what my skin looks like after applying all those products. As you can see, it just looks very healthy. I think these products are working really well here in the dry climates of Arizona. So you guys know how I love a glow, and they are really providing that. And these are the 3 sunscreens I've been reaching for lately. Today I decided to use the tint one. This one's super hydrating. It does absorb really quickly and does not leave a white cast. It's a mineral sunscreen and works great under makeup. Let me know in the comments what you use for sunscreen, your favorites. I would love to know. Now let's get into the changes I've made in my makeup. Okay, so that's everything that I've been applying on my skin for the past few weeks. Honestly, I feel like it is doing a really nice job. My face doesn't feel super tight anymore. Again, I'm living in the desert, so it's a completely different heat and dryness. Like in Michigan, it was artificial because in the winter we would turn on the heating system, and again, that's just artificial. Now during the summers, it was super hydrating because it was a lot of moisture, very humid in Michigan, where here I don't think I will ever get any humidity whatsoever. So That's why I did have to change up, my skincare routine, just slightly, not too drastic, I don't think. And there's still products that I do use. Other than that, I do like to rotate things around. I have mentioned that before. Like when we go to the gym, our bodies get used to the same routine. So in my head, I feel like our skin gets the same way. So it's just nice to change it up every now and then, and you can test new products. Now, like one of the things that I still use a lot is this here, the Cosar X snail mucin. So, and again, my Timeless, I use things from Timeless. So I do switch it around, but I like trying new products just to see, and I really do like these products I've been using. Okay, and for my body, what I've been using is this here by Neutrogena, and I really love this. It's the Hydro Boost Body Gel Cream. What I love about this is, first of all, it's inexpensive on Amazon. Second of all, it absorbs really quickly into the skin because it's a little thinner of a consistency. So that's what I've been loving. And again, I don't dry off my skin completely. I kind of like my skin damp when I apply my creams. And also what I've been doing is adding this to the lotion here. It's by Heritage Store. It's the organic castor oil. So this is, quite a big or large container here. So what I do is transfer it into like a travel container. That way I have more control of how much of the product comes out. So I put like 12 pumps of this and add a good amount of the castor oil to that. And honestly, my skin feels very, it's not really greasy or anything, but it just feels nice and soft. And I feel like my perfumes do last a little longer because of the oil, I believe. So that's what I've been doing. And I also gave Daryl one of these, and he's been mixing it with his lotion as well. Okay, so on my eyes, what I did, I'll just tell you what I have on really quick. I've been using this palette a lot lately, as well as by Dominique Cosmetics. I think this is such a beautiful, nice, basic, neutral palette. But what I do love is, first of all, the packaging. It's very sturdy. And this shade right here, it's a beautiful mauve. That's what I placed here in the crease. It has a black, and I love the shimmers here. The shimmers that I used was this and this one here. So yeah, they're just very creamy, silky. They're not super chunky whatsoever. So this is just a nice everyday palette. And then for my mascara, I use the new Maybelline Colossal Bubble. And like I mentioned in a previous video, I like that mascara. It does give you a lot of length and a volume, but if you do play around with it too much, it does seem to get a little clumpy. So you just got to be careful with that mascara. And then to line my eyes, what I used was this here by Revant. It's a black eyeliner. I mentioned that company several times. They have several different shades. And yeah, they're just really nice. They're made for mature eyelids. So yeah, they're just a really good eyeliner. Okay, so let's get into what I've been using for my foundations. I'm just going to give you a few options, things that I do reach for. I feel like I reach for a lot here. Of course, it's the Wet n Wild, the hydrator. I love this. I think everybody loves this. Another good option is the CoverGirl Essence. This is one of those that it's kind of a love and hate between a lot of people. You either really like it or you don't like it. So I like it. So I reach for that a lot. I reach for this a lot, the Maxine Revenge. This is such a great product. You just got to be very careful because it can become very cakey very quickly. So yeah, but I absolutely love it. It's very hydrating and it doesn't look drying on the skin. My Laura Geller, I just used that in the previous video. Better Than Black with SPF. Another one that I've been reaching for that I rediscovered recently is this one here. It's by Tarte. It's the C Hydroflex. Love this. As you can see, it's very well loved. Another one that's great that has SPF in it is the Tower 28. This one is really nice. Now, this one has a little bit more coverage than the Laura Geller, but again, they are both great. I just feel like anything that has SPF in it is just a little bit more hydrating, or gives you more of that dewy effect or glow. So that's why I tend to reach for products that do have SPF in them. And the last one I've been reaching for a lot lately is this one here by It Cosmetics. It's the CC Plus SPF of 50 in it. So love that. But I do have a lot of foundations that are drier and I don't want to get rid of them. I don't want to declutter them. So I'm going to share with you what I do with those products so I can still utilize them here in Arizona. So the one that I chose to demonstrate today is this one here by Maybelline. This one is the 30 hour. Now there's several versions that have come and gone through the years of this one. I think the first one was 12 hour, then it went to 24. Now we're on 30, and it used to have a white cap. So I think you guys do remember that. But it is a drier formula, especially with my dry skin. But I'm going to share with you what I do to kind of make it work for me. So what I do is just shake it up, and then on this little palette here, I'm going to place 2 pumps. That should be more than enough. And then what I do is add like an oil to it. So I have 2 different oils here. Now I had 2 different oils. Where'd the other one go? I swear when I film, things grow legs and they walk out of this room. I don't know what goes on, but I did find it. Does that happen to you? Like you'll have everything just right in front of you and all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. Anyway, what I was saying, what I like to mix with my drier foundations is either this one here by Timeless. This one is a squalene oil. And then the other day I did this as well. Another good option is this one here by Turtur, the ceramic milk ampules. So those are great options. There's a lot of oils out there that you can mix, but these ones these ones seem to work the best with my foundations, that it doesn't separate it. It really hasn't interfered with my foundations. Another thing that you can do to add a little bit of hydration is mix a little bit of your sunscreen in with it. So I feel like it just makes it a little bit more creamy. But today I'm going to use the Timeless, the squalene, and we're going to see, or you're going to see how I wish I could show you the difference between the two, but I'm going to go out today and I don't want to have like a dull face on one side and a shiny or more dewy on the other side. So I'm just going to add maybe 2 or 3 drops. That should be plenty. I know if you add too much, then, you can run into a little bit of problem, but that's what I've been doing. And you're going to see it's just going to make the skin look very healthy. It's not going to look super matte, which that's what I like a little better. I don't like a super matte foundation on me. Again, because I have dry, mature skin, I just feel like it I don't know, just shows every wrinkle, every fine line, all my texture, everything. So this shade might be a little bit too deep for me, but we're going to make it work. And if you run into that situation where your foundation is too deep for you, of course, you can always add white pigment to the foundations. I've done that many times here on the channel, or you can just make sure to bring it down your neck and make everything look like it does go together. So that's what that foundation looks like. If you've ever used this foundation, you know how matte it can be. So now I do like to take a sponge. It's just slightly damp. And I do this all the time, whether it's a dry foundation, a creamy foundation, only because I really feel that it does press that product into the skin, and it really does take away any excess foundation that's not necessary, that's just kind of sitting on top of the skin. So I just feel like it's a more smooth application to use both a brush or your hands, but always go in with a sponge. Okay, so as you can see, I hardly use much of that foundation. I am one that likes to see a little bit of my skin peeking through, especially as I've gotten older. I just feel if there's too much of that foundation, it just really looks cakey and it just accentuates everything, especially around my mouth. Yeah, less is better as I'm aging, I am finding. Okay, and for under my eyes, as you seen earlier, I used this here. But then what you can do is go in, if you feel after that has soaked in completely and you look, just evaluate your eyes and just see, if they look still a little bit too dry. What I do is go in with this here by Delba. It's like a balm and it has the same ingredients as the spray. This is the first spray, a serum. So there's like some oils and this is the serum here. So that's exactly what is in here. And it's a white truffle and from Italy. So it is good stuff. So what I'll do is just place that under my eyes and just let that soak in for just a minute or two. And then what I'm going to use is this here by Tower 28. I've been having a little difficulty with this concealer, so I'm just going to show you what I've been doing lately, and it does work. So yeah, I don't reach for this one a lot. Again, because I don't know, a lot of people absolutely love it, but for me, no concealers have been working at all. So, but ever since I started doing what I'm about to show you, things have changed slightly. So, and I have been adding concealer in all these little places that are starting to droop, and it does seem in my head to help. So what I've been doing is just letting this sit on my under eyes and all these areas just to kind of thicken up just a little bit. You would think that it would make things more dry or more cakey, and no, it really makes a huge difference. So what I'm going to do while that is sitting there is I'm going to apply a little bit of bronzer. And again, here in Arizona, I find that I do reach for cream products just a little bit more because, again, powders can be, drying. So I have always reached for cream bronzers more than powder bronzers. But yeah, for me, I just like them a lot better. Okay, so everything should be good to blend in. So I'm just going to use my favorite BK brush here. It's the 114. And let's see how my concealer looks today. But I will say the foundation looks really good. Yeah, mixing it with some kind of oil or again with your SPF is going to make a huge difference, especially on your more dry foundations. Okay, again, I I don't know what is going on here. Maybe it's the products I've been using lately, but my under eyes look so much better with concealer now that I've been doing this little method. I mean, it's nothing new. This has been around for years. And of course, I have been stubborn to try it because I really thought it was going to make matters worse. You know what? Lesson learned. When you do see somebody use a technique that many people tend to do, I'm going to try it because they might be onto something. Now through here, I just tap. I'm not trying to spread that product. I'm just trying to have it, sink into the skin a little better because I really want that product to stay right there. Now, if you feel like your, concealer still looks a little bit questionable, go back in with your sponge. Again, you're going to pick up any of that excess that is not necessary, and it's going to smooth things down even more. So, this is what everything looks like. As you can see, I still have a pretty nice glow going on. And like I mentioned earlier, the lights are going to make a difference for sure. It's, kind of bouncing off the light, but yeah, my skin looks very healthy. It does not look dry whatsoever. And then again, to keep things creamy and not looking powdery or dry, I would again use like a cream blush. And today I'm going to use this fun one. I haven't used this forever. I found it on Amazon. It's by Veroni. But look at this shade. And I have used this a couple times on the channel. And it looks like, what is it, nail polish? But it is super, super pigmented. So let's try using it directly on the skin. So I'm just going to place a couple tiny drops and see what happens. And hopefully I didn't use too much. And let's blend that in. No, I think that was a pretty decent amount there, but as you can see, it does blend on, blend pretty easily. But I am going to place it on the back of my hand and then place it on the brush because I just feel I have a little bit more control that way. Okay, that looks super pretty. I love that shade. Okay, now here you can stop, and just go out the door like this. You can place a little bit of, what is the setting spray. That will also help, keep that dewiness effect. Or if you have to apply a powder like I do, I just have to really around the nose for sure. Otherwise, I will have zero makeup by the end of the day on my nose because my nose does, still becomes very oily. I think that will always happen no matter what climate I'm in. So what I'm going to use today is this one here. I love it by Wet n Wild. This one is actually in pink, but it's not too over the top of pink. It's just the right amount, but it's very blurring and it's going to take just a little bit of that shine away. And I find even with this powder, I can use it under my eyes without it looking super dry. But today I'm just going to leave my under eyes alone because they actually look pretty good. I'm not seeing any major creasing. Maybe I'll just take whatever's left on this poof and just place it in the inner corners. That's the only place that I'm going to apply this powder. Then another powder that is really nice if you want to keep that dewiness effect. Now, if you want something more matte, of course, you would just, do everything with the powder. But I think we're all trying to avoid that situation. But the powder I've been using a lot lately is this one here by Morphe. There's just that perfect amount of glow in it. It's not too much. It's not glittery whatsoever. And it just keeps that pretty shine that I have going on. I'm going to do one side of the face so you guys can see what I'm talking about because it will set your makeup, but it's still going to have that glow that's coming through. As you can see, it's a little bit more soft of a glow, but it's definitely still there. So I have been loving this powder like crazy. As you can see, I've reached a pan and I don't do that much here on my channel. I usually never hit pan because I'm always switching products around, but this one I hit pan because I use it all of the time. Now, at this point, you can add a little bit more powder blush over this, which I think I will. I'm going to apply my lipstick and a little bit of stuff under my eyes, and then I'll come back and I'll talk about just a few more things. Okay, so while I was off a camera, what I applied was powder blush, and what I used was this one here by REM. This is in the shade Pinking of You. Isn't that such a pretty shade? And I thought it would go really well with this look. It really just kind of brightens up the face. And then for my lips, I used this by Milani. It's in the shade, what is this, Lingerie. So yeah, that is super pretty. But what I applied over it was this here by REM as well. This is the new lip gloss, and I think it's called, what is this, Strawberry Soda. So isn't that pretty? Now, that isn't the shade whatsoever, but it does have a little bit of pigment to it. So yeah, it did add a little bit more pink to the look. Okay, and what I forgot to mention to bring everything back to life, even though I placed some powders, is I've been using this over my makeup as well. It's by Timeless. It's a Hairspray. Again, what I used in the beginning of the video. So I use it before I apply my skincare. Sometimes I'll apply it before I apply my foundations. And now I'm going to use it as like a setting spray. So, and I'm not shy. And then I'm going to place a little bit on my sponge. And I'm going to put a little bit under the eye just to add a little bit more hydration. And it's just going to smooth everything out. And I'm going to go around my nose again where things can get a little cakey. But the nice thing about this is it doesn't take away my makeup whatsoever. It just adds that glow, as you can see, back into my skin and melts all those powders back in. Oh, and what I forgot to tell you under my eyes is I did go into the Revant. Revant again, but I used the shade of purple. Isn't that a pretty? Okay, so that is everything. Again, thank you so much for the suggestion. Again, always keep them coming. I love them. Now, sometimes I can't, do every video, or, I can't use all the products that you guys suggest, but I promise you, I do read all of the comments, and I do look into the products that you do suggest. And also, what I would love for you guys to write in the comments is, I'm looking for more options for sunblock. Again, I'm going to need it really bad here in Arizona. So if you have one, I do preferably like a mineral sunscreen. So if you do have any suggestions on one that you think I would love to try, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I would really love to know your guys' input, because you guys are brilliant. You always give me the best suggestions. So yeah, I'm really looking for a good mineral sunblock, and that works really well with makeup. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, if you please do me a huge favor, hit that like button, and don't be shy to share this video. That also helps. And if you are new today, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I would love to see you again. I can't wait to see you guys again. I love you so much. And until next time.